All right, let's dive in. Just the usual friendly reminder before we start, this is all for educational purposes. It is not financial advice, so please always do your own research. Welcome back. This is it, the grand finale, part 4 of our deep dive into Plazm. We've covered the nuts and bolts, but today we answered the big one. What is the secret ingredient that makes this whole thing tick? You've been on this journey with us. You get the price floors, you understand the bonding curve, you know all about the burns. You see how it all works, but now it's time to pull back the curtain for good and show you why it works when so many others just don't. Okay, so super quick refresher. We learned Plazm has 2 safety nets, those 2 price floors. We saw how the bonding curve is what builds them, and we know that the burns and liquidity deepening are designed to make that floor go up over time. Got it? Good.
But let's be real for a second. The elephant in the room. Burns? A developer can code that pretty easily. A floor ratio? It's just math. Slippage to punish sellers? That's kind of standard stuff. So if anyone can code these things, what's the big deal?
And that leads us to the billion-dollar question, right? We've all seen protocols with flashy mechanics that just fizzle out and die. So why won't this one just run out of gas? What's stopping the engine from stalling? To really get it, let's use an analogy. Picture 2 cars. They look pretty similar on the outside, right? 4 wheels, an engine, they both get you where you need to go. But what's under the hood, how they're fueled, changes absolutely everything. So the first car is like most protocols out there. Let's call it the gas tank model. It starts with a big, full treasury, a full tank of gas. But every single thing it does, every burn, every defense, it sips a little bit of that fuel. And sooner or later, that tank runs empty. Game over. But then you have the second car, the solar car. It doesn't have a gas tank. It literally generates its own fuel from the sun, every single day. As long as the sun is shining, that car runs forever. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Plazm is the solar car. Its defense system isn't funded by a tank of gas that's slowly draining away. Nope, it's powered by a perpetual engine that refuels itself, day in and day out. Okay, so where does this solar power actually come from? It's not magic, it's something very real. Let's take a look at the engine itself. The power comes from something called DexFi Bonds. Now, don't let the name intimidate you. The easiest way to think of these is just ownership shares. You're owning a tiny piece of a big money-making machine that gets paid every time people trade on an exchange. That's really all it is. And here's how that money flows. It's a simple, beautiful loop. When ETH comes into the system, the protocol automatically uses it to buy more of those bonds, more shares in that fee machine. Then, those bonds sit there and earn trading fees. And finally, those fees, that real revenue, gets piped directly back to fund the system's defenses. And this is the absolute key, so I want you to remember this. We're talking about real yield. This isn't printing tokens out of thin air. This is real cash, real revenue, from real people making real trades. That right there is the game changer. But here's where it gets really interesting. This engine doesn't just run forever. It's designed to get more powerful over time. Let's look at the actual numbers, because this is where the magic really happens. So as of right now, the protocol's vault is holding it out 350 grand worth of these bonds. That gives it a nearly 19% ownership stake in the entire bond pool. That's a pretty big slice of the pie. So what does that mean in real terms? Well, right now, it's generating about $700 a day, every single day. That's $21,000 a month, over $250,000 a year in nonstop, perpetual funding to defend the price floor. And that money doesn't just sit there on the sidelines. No way. It gets put to work immediately. Every day, 65% of that, about $455, is used to buy and burn tokens, shrinking the supply. Another 28%, almost $200, goes right into making the liquidity pool deeper and more stable. And this isn't a one-time thing. This happens on autopilot, every single day, forever. Okay, now this is the aha moment. This is the slide that changes everything. Watch what happens as the system grows. As more people join and more bonds are bought, the yield just explodes. $1 million vault isn't just double, it's generating over $1,700 a day. A $4 million vault, we're talking $7,000 a day. That's over $2.5 million a year in perpetual defense money. You see? Time makes the system stronger, not weaker. And what this creates is a powerful virtuous cycle. It feeds on itself.
More people coming in means more bonds are bought. More bonds means more yield. More yield means a stronger defense, which pushes the floor price higher. And what does a higher, stable floor do? It attracts more people to enter, and the cycle starts all over again, stronger than before.
So, let's bring it all home. Let's put these pieces together for the final verdict. Because when you see it all laid out like this, you realize this real yield engine is an absolute game changer. Just look at this side by side. It couldn't be clearer. Other protocols are running on a draining treasury. Their lifespan is finite. For them, time is the enemy, ticking down to zero. Plazm is the exact opposite. Its fuel is perpetual. It refills every day. Time is its best friend. Here's one last analogy to really lock this in. Think of that real yield as the system's heartbeat. Thump thump, every single day. The burns, the liquidity, the floor ratio, those are the organs. And just like in a body, the organs can't do anything without a heartbeat. This perpetual heartbeat is what pumps life into the entire system, keeping it healthy and growing. And just like that, the puzzle is complete. Across these 4 parts, we've looked at the safety nets, the curve that builds them, the mechanics that make the floor climb, and now the perpetual engine that powers the entire thing. So here's what this all means for you, and this is so powerful. Every single day that goes by, more yield gets collected and the defenses get stronger. So by simply holding, you're not just sitting on the sidelines waiting, you are an active part of making the entire system stronger. So there it is. That's the secret. That's the takeaway from this whole series. Anyone can code some fancy mechanics, but it's the perpetual income from real yield that creates true perpetual protection. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. And as always, just remember this was for educational purposes. Always do your own research.